think I'm live. Hello, everybody. I'm back. It's been a while. You wouldn't believe the things I've been going through. Oh my God in heaven. I'm going to tell you guys what's been going on, of course. Good morning. It's Wednesday, March 13th. Everybody's starting to reflect on 4 years ago this week. The pandemic hit and the shutdowns happened. I wasn't even doing this yet. So I just think about that. I was like, wow, like 4 years ago, I wasn't even doing this. This was not even, I wasn't even doing live YouTube shows or nothing. I'm like, wow, nothing. And now I do them. I do them as I can. We trying. I'm separating binder clips. That's how exciting my life is right now. Binder clips. Let's see who's watching me. Who's fucking watching me? It's Matt Litchfield. It's Sherry Calvert. Use the moi. I'm I've been up since 7, but I'm still waking up. I have my AfterBuzz TV mug. How funny is that, right? Buzz you later, motherfuckers. Mhm. I have 2 AfterBuzz TV mugs. They let me have. They gave to me, but when I left. But it was 4 years ago. This week, I did my last show after TV in the studios. It was a Star Wars show. I was guesting on it. We were hugging and kissing each other, and I'll see you later. I'll see you next. See you later. Buzz you later. Blah blah. And never went back in. That was it. Never went back in. And these are courtesy. These binder clips are courtesy of Dollar Tree. I bought like 10 packs. So I'm trying to find the small ones, and I don't want to spend like lots of money. Yes, I'm a discount shopper. But anyway, yeah, not people watching. Hi, not people watching. Okay, today, of course, trying to raise a little money today for some more expenses. So I'm gonna put it in here, and I'm gonna put it in the thing. If anybody wants to give, any amount is great. Again, every $20 you get 3 free Zooms. So some people have got a bunch of Zooms coming up that they give for free. So that's good for them. So I'm just gonna do all this. How's everybody doing today? Shout out to my girl Michelle Stafford. Her stepfather passed away a few days ago. I knew about this already. I had been talking to her, but shout out to her. I know her mom, and so shout out to her mom and my condolences for that. So yes, and also Matt's husband Scott's dad passed away also this weekend. Shout out to you and Scott, and I sent Scott my message already. My condolences online. Um, and another friend of mine lost their dad this weekend, also, who's not on social media. Shout out to him and his family. I'm like, what is going on with the fathers this weekend? Um, and but shout out to all of you guys. I don't have a dad. My father's not in my life. My stepdad passed away last year. So I know how that is. So just shout out to everybody losing their parents and step parents. We are, a lot of us are at that age. But that's where it begins to happen. Hi, Miss Crystal. How are you? So it's I'm separating binder clips at the moment. It's such exciting stuff for the moment. I had Flobo come yesterday and help me out. So he helped out a lot. I needed so much help, and he's coming back tomorrow to help me. So I'm very happy about that. And a lot to organize. I have a lot to organize. I'm just going to do this. Yeah, it's rough for everybody this week apparently. And James Law Jr. has been subpoenaed and been served by the sheriff's department of Inglewood to testify in a trial. After all of that, missing, and I only go into jury duty. I have to testify. I am praying. It's just one day. I don't want to go. They texted me. This is how fucked up this is. They texted me from a number I don't know. I almost didn't look at the number. I used to look at numbers that are not. I don't know them. Because you never know, it could be scammers. And they texted me a subpoena and asked me to call the office. And then they didn't. I mean, I was like, you guys never, because you were never served officially, or no? You tell me in 4 days I have to go to court. And we had a question for some domestic dispute that I didn't see that much of. Just happened. You guys saw me outside. I saw part of it, but I don't know those. These are my neighbors across the street. I don't know them. They're a mother and son apparently. I don't know them. I'm not in their lives, and now I have to waste. And I was like, I'm not coming. They're like, if you don't come, we'll put a warrant out for your arrest. That's what I want to do. I wish I just didn't see the text and be like, well, you guys, I didn't see it. You guys are texting me shit. I'm like, that's something's wrong with all that. But I'm black in America. I can't fight them when it comes to cops. So I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to do all that stuff. So I'm gonna go. I told myself I have to work and stuff. They don't give a fuck. They don't care. They're so mean. So I'm gonna be a hostile witness. Fuck them. So I'm so pissed. So anyway, I'm not gonna repeat myself, but you can watch what I'm not gonna repeat myself. You can watch what I just said. So anyway, so I gotta do that. Great. I'm like, so something happens to him, he knows where I live and come after me or whatever. I'm like, this it's just so dumb. My parents are mother and son, so I'm like, you say you're going to your mother said, I'm like, it's crazy. It's crazy. Like, yeah, I know. It's we get text. I'm like, I don't even. I mean, it's a number. I'm like, I don't know that number. I almost just erased it. A lot of times, sometimes through text, folks, they can get into your phone. Because some of these scammers, they can. But they would have on record that was not served. I mean, they would have on record. If I did, I guess if I did answer a text and I didn't come, I would say, "Do you have a record of them serving?" They didn't serve me. But uh, you're on the list, so I'm like, okay, well, I'm not. I don't want to be any help to anybody on the stand. If we understand, so we'll see. Like that's the last thing. I'm so busy this week. That's the last thing I needed. So anyway, you have to watch the beginning of the show for answers. They just keep going and going. I tell you. So, anywho's, that's what I woke up to. And I was like, really? Up to that? Do that. Hi, Brown. Day 21. So that's kind of crazy. The Emmys have been announced. 51st Daytime Emmys are June 7th. Let's see if I get there this year after what the debacle happened last year. But we will do our special, our yearly specials. We will do them. Me and Candace Mack, um, Jerry Wagon, and Walker Ragsdale. We will do our shows. They're very popular, so we're going to do them. So when the nominations come out, we'll do the nominations one, and when the Emmys air, we'll do one afterwards. So very excited for that. The show I'm excited about. We always do those. We always have a good time, and we're always very honest and real. So we're like working it off. We're gonna work it out. That should be fun. That's coming up. Um, as you guys know, I'm an Emmy judge. So and we'll see. Well, I'll see. I'll find out what category I get. What categories I get. I'm very excited. So I hope to get them. What's going on? But that whole debacle of me going. I saw an interesting clip regarding Oscar's Best Picture. It's voted by all judges, but is weighted. Okay. Yeah, Candace, I read the cliff notes of what's coming up. I didn't read the whole. God, I read the cliff notes. As you saw, I opted in. I said I will do our stuff. So yeah, so the Spectrum Celebrity event is next week, end of next weekend. So check that out. There's still tickets available. Spectrum Celebrity Events. Go check that out. Unfortunately, I won't be there, but Tony Moore will be there, and some of your other Lonnies will be there. Actually, a bunch of Lonnies there. Well, I separated them. Okay, they're good. I had to separate binder clips. How fun is that? Well, that's the separated. Now check out my AfterBuzz TV mug. Buzz you later. Because here's a little bit of tea, folks. Here's the tea. We've seen a couple of people doing interviews using the AfterBuzz TV studios. I know nothing. I'm not connected to anybody there. I have no idea what's going on, but I'm seeing the backgrounds and the studio itself. We're all of us are kind of like, what's going on? And they're not saying it's AfterBuzz TV. They're saying they're at the AfterBuzz TV studio, so they're filming for their own projects, which would be a smart thing because they have 4 amazing looking studios. We kept saying before they went out of business, they should do that anyway. They were doing that kind of. They rent out the studio. Like I think Ross Matthews doing a show there. A few folks doing shows there. I always said they should do that. Rent out the studios. So good for them. I'm like, good. So we'll see what happens. But I miss the studio sometimes. I do. I miss it. I miss going into a studio, having a producer produce me. So I do miss that kind of stuff. I mean, I do everything myself. But if it wasn't for them going out of business, I wouldn't be here doing this. And I think about 4 years ago, I wasn't doing this. Like I wasn't doing any of this. This is all within the last couple of years. Like wow, a lot of stuff. Like wow, crazy. I also have to promote. I'm on a show just as an actor called Tomorrow is a New Day, and you can get that anywhere you get audio podcasts. And it's the season finale. I'm in it. I play a guy named Richard. I play an evil guy. So if you want to check that out and hear my voice, Tomorrow is a New Day. It's out today. So it's a season finale. I think it's season 2, I think. Those AfterBuzz studios were tinier. They say, of course, that's how it looks. The soap sets are really small, you guys. I've been on some. They're really small. You think they're big, but they're not. So it all works out. That's how everything. It just looks bigger on TV, which I could say something dirty, but I'm not going to. Also, I got me a Stanley tumbler, a Stanley cup, but this one is Stanley and Starbucks. Yes. Let me tell you something, Root King. I mean, if you know this or don't know this, I had a show on Black Hollywood Live called Breaking Into for 4 years. I won an award for it. It's up there. Black Hollywood Live was part of AfterBuzz TV. So folks who know us at home, AfterBuzz TV had 4 networks: AfterBuzz TV, Popcorn Talk, Book Circle Online, and Black Hollywood Live. Daryl Christian was the president of Black Hollywood Live, and I went to him after a year at AfterBuzz TV and said, "Can I do something for Black Hollywood Live?" And he was like, "We have this show that was Nick Cannon Productions that we took over. It's called Breaking Into. The host got pregnant and left, or something like some weird shit like that." And he goes, "You can have it. You can do whatever you want." And that was the first. Well, GH Report was the first show I produced myself, but this was the first show was fully mine. And I said I want a guest. They're mostly of color, but I have some white folks on my show, but mostly of color who are changing things or doing things specific. And I did 4 years. It was wonderful, 135 episodes. I'm very proud of them. And I won awards for them. I've had people from Christina DeBarge to Loose Ends to Shabadu Quinones to In Vogue. I mean, I had a lot of folks on that show. I produced it every week. I loved it. And it was wonderful. It was a wonderful experience. But Black Hollywood Live was part of AfterBuzz TV. That was their black arm. Hi, McFloyd. That was their black arm of stuff. So it's kind of like, so that's what I did. So anyway, so that's why everybody used to. So we had 4 different networks. They were trying to do a 5th network, and it never came. It never came to fruition. At the end, they started AfterBuzz Latino, but again, we went out of business before that. I mean, no one so foresaw the pandemic. We no one know. Hi, Janae Glow. Hi, Meet Cobb. Hi, Mick for everybody. No one, but it went out, but literally went out of business. They tried to close, they closed it. It sat there dormant for the last 3 years. It's just the last 5 or 6 months. There's been a few interviews from that space. So, because I went over there one day last year, and it was just sitting there empty, and the alarm was kind of going off, and that was it. So I was just like, okay, I don't know what's going on there. But it's just, it was a great space, but the pandemic just kind of killed stuff. Black Lives Matter kind of killed stuff. I have some inside information that's I'm not going to share on here, but it's stuff that's gone that went down. That one day I'll write a book about it. I think I'm going to write a book about it. But it's just it's very much. It had lots of potential, and I think there was bad management and bad staff. I have no problem saying that. There's a lot of potential in that network. I was there 7 years, so I know what I'm talking about. There's a lot of potential, a lot of stuff that could have happened, and they didn't do it correctly. And so when the pandemic hit, that happened. We had a huge meeting, and it all fell apart. And then they went on hiatus. That was their official statement. We're going on hiatus for the summer. That was the summer of 2020, and now it's 2024. I personally thought what they did was wrong to people. There were a lot of folks who believed in AfterBuzz TV who were really in there, and they just didn't, and they did a lot of people wrong, I think. And no one's gonna buy that network, Mick. I know I've been trying to sell it for years, and it hasn't sold yet. So I don't know if it's pricing or if it's them, but it's been sitting there. They've been trying to sell. They were trying to sell it before I even left, and nothing's happened. They're trying to get invested in stuff. It's a great space. It needs some work. Some of the space needs work for it to be a fully functional space, in my opinion. If I had the money on whatever, I would buy it. But I don't have the money to do that. But it's. And I was at another place called After Party Radio. They did the same. They had a great space in Inglewood. I had my Extra Connection show was there. The pandemic hit. They just packed up and left, and didn't tell any of us. It was like both big studios did a lot of people wrong, and you don't bring people in and then treat them like they're part of the family. They give you their all, they work with you, they do all this stuff, and then all of a sudden you just drop the bottom out of everybody and just go bye and out. I think that's right. A lot of folks, they're not doing a lot of stuff. You don't see a lot of AfterBuzzers out there doing stuff. It's just me and a few other people who are actually doing stuff. The rest are either back home where they came from, or they're doing something totally different. They left the business. It's a tough business. It's a tough business. And AfterBuzz gave people some opportunities, but it was also a space where you had to really build off of them. And I did. Tony Moore did. I did. Flo did. There's a few of us that we did. But there was a lot going on that wasn't the greatest there. But Howard, all that said, I'm glad I went. It helped boost my career. I mean, it gave me a whole different career that I know I can have. I never thought about hosting in my entire life. That was not even anything in my life. I was 46 years old, so I was winding down to retirement, basically thinking about what I'm going to do for retirement, and then that just came to my life. So it's one of those things. A place can be two things at once. A situation can be two things at once, right? So for me, I can have bad feelings about it. I can have good feelings about it. And I think a lot of us ex-AfterBuzzers, when we talk about it, we have the same. It's the same. We all feel the same, just about. So I don't know, but AfterBuzz TV was the first two after shows. AfterBuzz TV had a great concept, and a lot of us took that concept, and I brought it to here. It was like, make sure it's like friends talking about your shows. Make it very homey and just down home, and that's what we do, So I think there's a lot. It's not very many studios left in LA. There's a few. I went on tour for a couple. They cost a lot of money to rent out, which I think is ridiculous. Especially if you bring in your own people. That's just my take on that. I think you can find a medium where you can make money yourself renting it out, but also not gouge people who are trying to start something, try to get something up there. And that's why a lot of them aren't popular or famous or doing really well. So it's very LA. It's one day I'll have my own. I would get my own studio space, and I'm going to be very fair and make sure that people who are up and coming, all the sliding scale, all that kind of stuff, the people who are up and coming get a chance to, do something. You can have different pricing. I think there's nothing wrong with that. But folks just wanted LA is a very different animal, as you know, out here. So, and not everybody's for each other. People will claim that, but they're not. But yes, there's times I found the mug and I was like, oh yeah, I'm ready mugs. I have two of them. I have one that's all yellow, too nice to drink out of. And I was like, AfterBuzz TV, if this mug could talk, I'm sure. If this mug could talk, and I do. I don't miss the drive to the valley. That's one thing I do not miss. I don't live nowhere near the valley. You guys know I live in Inglewood. I'm talking that was some of that. Oh my god! Depending on when my shows were, it was brutal. There were times when I would just stay in the valley until I knew the traffic would die down because there was too much. If I got out of a show between 5:30 and 7 Monday through Friday, no, I was like, nah. It would take me at least 2 hours to get home. That was ridiculous. If I had a show at a certain time, there were times I would leave earlier to avoid as much traffic as I could. There were two ways from where I live. There were two ways to get there: the 405, and then east, or the 110 to 101, then northwest. And either way, either way, it was bad. I mean, just got more traffic. It didn't matter which one. So for years, I was driving out there. It was like, oh, it was just so much. It was so much. I don't miss that at all. Don't. That's the one thing I don't miss, the drive. It was like, and the heat in the summertime. Ooh, it's hot out there. Ooh, in the summertime, it was hot. Hot, hot, hot. So, but I did enjoy my time there. So I had my life. I did it. That's AfterBuzz. Plus costume. Hi, Vita Worship. Oh, your birthday's tomorrow. Well, happy birthday, Vita Worship. Hope you have a great birthday tomorrow. Plus time for costume change between shows. Why? A lot of time was funny for me. I didn't change my clothes when I had multiple shows. I never did. So I mean, for me, like, most of them I only had one show. I would do only one show a day. That's just how it felt. But I was there 5 days a week at one point. I had a show almost every day. They were closed on Saturdays, and I had shows Sunday through Wednesday. I think it was. So a lot of times it was one show. The soap shows, I had two because I did Bold and GH. Now, once I was doing days, GH and Bold, and that was too much. But I kept the same clothes on most time for that. But it was yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot out there. Did have some good food out there. I like. There's one thing with the valley. I did have some good food, but I'm like the valley. I just really don't miss that long commute. I was like, I only dressed the taco one time. Only one time. That's only one time. But yeah, but no, anyway. So it just I don't miss that part of the drive. But the other place, After Party Radio, which was here in Inglewood, it was like 10 minutes away from me. I missed that studio. It was so much fun. It was run by Black folks, which I loved it. We all had a good time. But wonk wonk. Anyway, they just said we're going back to Dallas. They didn't like the pandemic. They didn't like it at all. Which nobody liked it, but they didn't like it, and they were mad at us because we didn't come in. Us hosts were like, we're not coming in until you put some protocols in place. Like we at the beginning of the pandemic, you know how that shit was spread. Everybody was getting nervous and what's going on. And we were like, we gotta be careful. And they put nothing in place. They were getting mad at us, like threatening us. And I'm like, that is not fair at all. Like we're trying to save our lives. And some of the folks were like, I have health issues. Like, what are you talking about? So I literally found I'll spill this tea, I don't care. I literally found out on a Facebook Live that it was shutting down. They didn't have the president of the company didn't have a decency to tell any of us. So I messaged two other hosts for other shows. There I go. You might want to tune into the Facebook Live after party because I think we're done. And we were all just in shock. They didn't care. They really didn't. They didn't care. They didn't tell us nothing. We found out we were done on a Facebook. I just happened to see the Facebook Live. Oh, I was so angry. And I was going to go off on her, but I didn't. I said, you know what? Good riddance to bad rubbish. So I blocked her, blocked the studio, stopped promoting it. The show was mine. I owned the show anyway that I had. So I brought it to them. I brought them other hosts, everything. Have a good day, Sherry. Other hosts. It was such a bad situation. I mean, I really believed in it. Really believed in it. And they just totally were like, nah. They're just like, we're closed. And I was like, that's it? We put a lot of effort. A lot of us put it was all Black folks who were the hosts. I was like, that's not good business. They just didn't care. I mean, I brought them people, I brought them attention, I brought them good guests. I was like really trying to promote this. I was like, yeah, let's promote this. Black folks wanting a studio in LA. It's in South LA. We were near the airport. We were near the freeways. It was a great setup. I wish I could find out on some level if I don't know if they still have a studio in there still in that building. So I thought about it, I said, well, if I could rent out that studio possibly. I don't know. They had a great engineer, Brittany, who's wonderful. It was another great experience, but I was only there a year before the pandemic hits. Hi, Tracy Stevens, how are you? Before it hit. What happens to Dish and I don't know what your question is, Veda. Sorry, I don't know what your question is. Everybody's wishing her a happy birthday because it's her birthday tomorrow. Well, it's your birthday week. But speaking of soaps, we will be back this Sunday, our last show for about a month, and then I'll be back in mid-April because of my surgery and situation. So we'll be back in about a month. But we will be on all three soaps shows and Edition Days. We'll all be back this Sunday on St. Patrick's Day. What is that? My treat. Rest of St. Patrick's Day. So I'll be back. We'll be there. So we all took last Sunday off because of the Oscars and time changes. We had things to do. We were all a little busy that day. So we'll be back on Sunday, and so will they. They'll be back on Sunday also, doing their thing. So Edition Days is still out there. YouTube Edition Days. Any audio stream platform service Edition Days, and it's Dishin, not Ing, because there's Dishing with Digest. That's the soap opera digest podcast. So Dishin Days. Something that I think the title. I forgot who that was. It Mark J. Freeman? I forgot who thought of the title. Because originally we were just the Days of Our Lives after show. That's just what AfterBuzz TV. That was our original title. But I can't remember. It's been so long. I can't remember who thought of Edition Days. And it just stuck. You get a title. You go, that works. Let's say it works. Well, it totally works. So that's going on there. Well, I've been on half an hour. Wow, I've been on half an hour. Wow. Been on a half an hour. Good morning, Chandra. We're just talking about the past. Before you met me, at my AfterBuzz TV days, all that stuff. So yes, I did yell at people the other night, last week, on my show for GHB Spotlight. We did a special nighttime version, and Tammy Govea came over and joined me and Frank, and it was like we had a great time. But I'll tell you, it bugs me to no end when in my chats, they're like, you guys are talking in the chat. Of course, varying opinions. That's fine. You can not like things. I love that back and forth. I like this couple. I don't like this couple. That works for me. I like that. But there were a few people, and I don't know if they're just trolling or if they really just hate the show. Every single comment was negative. I saw it was like 3 people that were in there, and someone would say something positive, and they would just shit on it. It was like Every single, I saw it for about an hour, and I was just like, I'm over. I'm just gonna say something. You can be in my chat. I'm not gonna kick you out the chat. I'm not gonna. I didn't do any of that stuff. But I was just like, to me, I'm like, why are you fucking watching the show? If it's so horrible, then why the fuck are you watching it? And then why are you watching my show? And commenting every 5 minutes how horrible it is, how you hate everything, like everything. I did. I went off on him, and people got quiet for a little bit. One guy tried to get smart ass to me later, but I just ignored his comment. But I'm just like, I'm just saying, you can come my chats. It's a safe space. You can say what you want. I'm like, it just to me, it's just like, but when like every comment is just horrible. Every single comment is just like, it's just, why do you like that? I don't see what I'm like, oh my God. It's like debate, exchange. Of course, that's fine. Because that's what we're doing. I'm like, I don't like that. Frank doesn't like it. I like this. That's what we do. That's what I usually do. But I'm like, everything is just so bad. I'm like, wow. That's just to me that bugs shit on me. So I'll always call it out. So anybody watching in the future, I think you'll call my chats. I'm going to call you out. I'm just going to because I think it's ridiculous. I see it online. That's fine. I can't handle it online. That's something totally different. I don't, I'm like, I don't run online. But on my shows, I'm like, if you just think it's so horrible, don't watch my show. Trust me, my life will go on. I will not miss you. I was gonna be okay. I don't come to my chat and just be negative all the time. And I don't care how you feel about that. I don't really give a shit. So I'm like, I want to have fun. I want to have fun and talk, and I can have a fun, healthy, fun debate, talk about it. And that's what I want to do. Because to me, it just brings it down. It's like, because you hate everything, it's not fun. And a lot of folks are like fighting. They're like either ignoring you or they're trying to talk. Oh, like it's not fun at all. I try to see. So I'll always call it out. I'll always call it out. So we know we love some shade. We always do. But I'm like, we want to be friends. We love some shade, but we don't want total darkness. As I said, sub Twitter, that's different. I don't run sub Twitter. I don't engage in that stuff. Because right now, people, of course, I hate what's going on. I hate what's going on at General Hospital. It's going to take some time for the changes to happen. It's a transition. Like you're not going to get everything you want in a transition right away. I'm like, give him a chance. The main story is Jason's return. That's just how. Sorry, kids, whether you like it or not, that's the main story. If everything else will start to fall into place, and they are, they're giving us. Actually, I'm liking what's happening. So that's just me. I'm right now. I think the show is actually watchable. I think at one point we all could agree it was not watchable. We were all like, "Oh, we're watching out of habit," but I think all of us could possibly agree it was not the greatest. For me right now, it is much better than it was. It is much better than it was, and so I'm watching it. And so I'm like, you guys, people want to be negative, 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 just have a good time. I know that folks are losing their shit over Charlie already. They're losing their shit over it already online. I try to tell you guys, you come to my Zoom and stuff, I'm telling you what the show wants. So all this is a surprise to me. So the show wants certain things. And it is rooted in history. I'm watching people twist like a pretzel to act like this is not history, this is not canon or history, because they want their other couples to happen. So I get it. You go twist a pretzel. I'm like, a lot of stuff is on screen. It's on YouTube. It's like nobody's making shit up, and folks are just, are losing their. I knew this was going to happen. This is all to me. It's all predictable. I knew it was going to happen, but the show knows that too, and the show wants conversation. They don't care if it's good or bad. So people who are trying to erase history and change things, they don't care. It's talk. All publicity is good publicity. They love it. So you're helping the show go. They love it. They see it. They see your comments. They don't care. I think it's smarter. I think they're actually showing up relationships. We're seeing people we haven't seen before. All this stuff. I'm just like, like I said, I'm like it. But you have a right to not care for certain things, of course. You know what? I'm not a big Jason Carly fan either. Like I want them together, but I know the fact that they want it. I like the pace too. The pace is it's literally. It's moving. We actually have shit. This shit's moving. That's what's so funny. I love the Laura and Heather talk yesterday. That did need to happen on some level. We need to set up Heather a certain way, right? We need to set that up, and I love it. I'm like, this is like, I love that now. You know that now Michael's coming involved. It's like piece by piece. I know folks are upset because we didn't see anybody find out that Jason was alive, but that's fine. We're seeing the play out. We're seeing Sam being conflicted. Sam has had more scenes in these last 2 weeks she's had in like 2 years. She's actually emoting and sharing her thoughts. We have the kids. I mean, to me, there's so many positives that are coming out of this, but we're still transitioning. It's still transitioning. It's like we're going to be here for a while. And exactly the Carly, Jason, and even the Drew thing with Drew is not dumb. Drew knows what. So I'm not get into all the weeds of the storylines because I was talking about that on this weekend. But I was just saying that I'm seeing the talk, and people are just losing their shit, which I knew they would. Which GH knows that was going to happen too. And Trina will be on. They'll get to them. They just right now. Right now, Trina's not that important at the moment. Sorry. I mean, I love Trina. I love the black folks, whatever. But right now, she's not. Right now, it's not the important storyline at the moment. They'll get to her. I'm hoping it's a really good storyline. I don't want her on the show just to be on the show. I want it to be a good. Maybe they've crafted something good that's coming. You know, I'm gonna give everybody time. I'm gonna give everybody a few months before I start to go crazy. Before I start saying anything, I'm gonna see what's going on. Yes, she did. So yes, not history. But yeah, Laura and Heather were friends a long time ago. I love when she calls her Weber. They were Webers a long time ago. Like there's a whole history. I feel like we're seeing more history brought in. You know, Jason goes, "Is Monica there?" And I'm like, "Oh my god, that'd be great." Like there's just so much that's being said, um and how it's affecting people. How Dante's affecting people. And then Jason's return. So we're getting there. They're setting up story. They're setting up the whole Jake versus Danny. They're setting up how different they are. They're Jason's son. Like they're setting it up. There's only 5 days a week, so they're setting it up. But I mean, I'm sure they'll pull in, you know, Portia's part of it because of Cyrus or whatever. Trina will be in, she'll be in there. I tell her she'll be back. But right now there's no Spencer, nobody in there. But I saw right now Trina's kind of aimless at the moment, but they'll get her in there. They'll get it. I'm confident they'll do something with her. But I know Sweden Nation's upset. People are upset because she's not on, and I just think right now she's not a focal point of the story. Right now it's Jason's return, and anybody connected to Jason. That's the story right now, and that's how it always was going to be. That's then once that dies down a bit, right? They have to get to it. And there's so much they have to get to that they'll get to it. It's like he just got back. He's shot. They'll get to it. They'll get to it. We'll see what happens. He'll see Elizabeth. He'll see he'll see Jake. He'll fight about Britt. He'll fight. I mean, it's all going to happen. You just have to they have to play it out. Like I said, I like the pacing right now. It's fast. It's just like here we go. And I don't see it. It's always talking shit about Finn. I don't mind Finn. Finn is somebody I actually like his character. I'm not a fan of Finn and Liz, but I liked his talk with Jake the other night. I thought it was cool. I thought it was very cool. And why not? I liked it. But I'm not. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Fizz and Liz and Finn. But I'm open. I mean, who knows? They could change my mind if they have better writing. I wasn't a Franco Liz fan either till towards the end. Then I went, okay, now I kind of see it, and I was feeling it, and then he got killed. So I don't have a problem. I like Michael Easton. I like him. You like his characters. I just don't care for the storyline. But again, it was the previous regime, and they wrote it so horribly. The pacing was horrible. Like now we're getting faster pace. They're moving it right along. They're not dragging this out. You know, the last regime would have been dragged out forever. But they're focusing on a couple of storylines. They have Laura should be front and center. She's earned that right to be. Sorry, folks. Carly has right to be front and center. She's earned that right to be. Ava, all of them. We see more Selena Wu now. Everything. Well, you should be happy with Blaze's mom. Her mom represents a certain type of people. I'm liking Eva LaRue's portrayal. We have to we have to understand. Not everyone accepts alternative lifestyles. They just don't. I know that personally. So I know that's something that's common. That's that you have to, in certain cultures, religions, everything. So I'm glad they're showing that. I think they're handling it very delicately. Actually, I thought what she thought was a phase and was justifying it, going, well, I understand because of what happened with Link. I thought it was great. I see exactly where that was. Totally get it. Totally get it. You know what I mean? It's like it makes sense. Actually, a lot of these scenes and stuff they're doing, they actually make sense. Hayden's not coming back. Not anytime soon. I love Rebecca Budig, and hi, cat lady. I love Rebecca Budig. She ain't coming back. She ain't coming back anytime soon. They have no desire to bring her back. We would like her to come back, but it's not happening. So I mean, anyway, uh, it is culturally accurate. It is. We don't like. It's good that you don't like it. It's good you don't like it. I'm good people don't like it. That's great. That maybe minds are changing. That's kind of the point. It's like, yes, maybe this is great. If people are like, I don't like that character, great, good. You shouldn't. That's the point. It has to be realistic. We don't have any Latinos on camera hardly on soaps. This is wonderful. I'm like bring it on. I'm like bring it on. I am down for the cause. So I'm just like, come on, folks, let's do this. So anyway, I'm getting into the weeds of all the storylines. So I want to save my talk for Sunday. We're back Sunday at 1 p.m. talking about General Hospital. But I just say people just need to just lean in, and just understand it's gonna take some time, and we'll get there. We'll get there. I think we'll get there. There are things I want. I'm like, my patient's gonna wait. They'll get there. You know me. I'll be the first one to call out something if I see it, I feel it. So stay tuned. If I feel something's happening, I'm like, wait a minute, that's gone too long. Trust me, I will jump in and say it. But I just think people, and I knew it was going to happen. To me, I guess it's predictable. I knew it was going to happen. People want stuff. They went now. I went now. We changed that one now. It's always happened that way. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. Well, yeah, and see, the actors understand this. You don't have to like the character. That's fine. She's like, that's fine. Yeah. She's like, okay. Michelle knows that there are folks who don't like Phyllis. She knows there are folks who don't like her portrayal of Phyllis. She knows that. And she knows there are folks who love Phyllis and love her portrayal of it. She knows that too. And she knows there are folks out there who are in between. They're like, oh, it's okay. But she knows that. And all these actors know that you're not well liked by everybody. Latasha, that you're not well liked by everybody. And that is, and I love Michelle's thing. I feel the same way about myself and just other people in the business. When we come online and put ourselves in front of a camera or a microphone or whatever, you all have every right to talk shit and throw shade and hate and not like whatever it is about us. All right, we get that part. We're putting ourselves. That's why I say I have family members who don't want to be on screen. They don't want to be out there. I've had friends who left the business because it was too much for them. I get all of that. I get all of that. and we know, and it's unfair many times, and people come after us. We can't come back at them because if we come back at them, they get mad at us, and this whole thing we get held to a different standard. I get it, but I'm choosing to stay in the business. And if you choose to stay in the business, then you know that there are people who are going to talk shit about you. People are going to talk shit about you. They're going to accuse you of things. They're going to see you in certain ways that you're like, what the fuck? Like what? It's very interesting. The gates. I want to tell you something, Chandra. The Breakfast Club. I did not appreciate how they covered the gates. They're so disrespectful and dismissive, and I'm like, they were so just the common thing of what folks think about daytime soap operas. Yet you all love Scandal, you're all watching I Get Away with Murder, and you're all watching Grey's Anatomy. But then we mentioned a daytime soap opera, and they're getting facts wrong, they're making fun of it. It wasn't even funny making fun of it. I was just like, my brother played it for it, and I go, I don't find any of this funny. He thought it was funny. I found none of it funny. I find none of this funny, and this is a big deal. And they were like, that's not the only. It wasn't a black soap. No one said Generations. So Generations was the first biracial soap opera. It literally had one, and it had half was white, half was black. That's how it was, and that's how even when you look at the picture, that's how it was set up. It was the first, multiracial, biracial soap opera, and they showed that. I'm curious. They showed that black folks can have an equal story. And yeah, no, I mean, I'm not a huge fan either, Chandra, but every once in a while, Charlemagne says stuff that I do agree with on certain things. But yeah, I'm just like, it's overall, it's the same attitude towards soaps. And I was like, no, the NAACP is involved in this. They're really trying to make this. It's going to be a black soap. I'm sure you have white folks on it. It is a major deal. And I've been hearing things. I was going to do a show on this. I decided not to, but I'll tell you guys in here. I saw people going, well, just because I'm black, I'm not going to watch this show. You can't make me watch it just because it's black. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh my God, that's not even the point. I tell people all the time, I go, it doesn't even matter. It's a new soap opera. I would think that you're watching the other four or three of the four or two of the four, just aren't you interested in seeing what a new soap opera looks like? Or you can't even just like celebrate, even if you don't watch it, you can't just celebrate it's a new soap after how many years coming into the picture. People just like, I'm like, okay, sure. Not every gay movie I have to watch is a gay movie. I mean, it's like that's just. I mean, I totally get it. Not every black movie I have to watch. I mean, I get it. I get it. But I'm just like, but aren't you just curious though? Like, is it going to be good? Is it going to be? I mean, it could be really good, regardless of whatever it is. I'm like, it's a soap opera. It's a new soap opera. Like, I'm excited. It's like, why not? I don't know. It's just, it's to me, it's different. Okay, so Beyonce fans, don't come for me because I have nothing against her. But Beyonce just announced her country album, Cowboy Carter, is coming out March 29th. I haven't talked to Tony yet because Tony Moore loves Beyonce. I haven't decided. I don't know. I'm like, if you're a Beyonce fan, will you actually get this album? Because it's not R&B. Apparently, it's not. Well, it might be popish, who knows? But it's not R&B. It's not dance. It's going to be country. So or her version of it. So will you listen? Will you go support that? If you're a Beyonce fan, are you a Beyonce fan for certain types of music, or are you a Beyonce fan? Like, to me, it's a little different. Music's different. Music tastes are very different. TV show, I'm listening to Beyonce because I'm really curious, but when it comes to TV shows, it's like, yeah, I understand. So there's a difference, but it's still kind of fascinating. Like, why not? Why at least check out the first couple episodes, and then go from there. First, just watch the first week, and if it doesn't grab you, it doesn't catch you, think, okay, thanks, I'm good. I see nothing wrong with that. But it's already like, well, just because I'm black, I don't have to watch. So I'm like, okay, I mean, I don't. And one person was like, you better get black people of all colors on there. Well, hopefully they will do some great casting and there'll be a representation of black. I don't think they're gonna do all dark skin or all light skin. I hope not. I'm assuming they're going to, because if ACP is involved, Michelle Vaughn's involved. I have a feeling they're going to make sure it's populated. I'm assuming it'll be populated with a myriad of shades of brown. I can't imagine. Well, I mean, I can't even say that. We'll see. I just have a hard time imagining that they'll just do all light skinned. I don't think we're not those times anymore. So I think we'll be okay. I think. I don't know. I know I say that now. Again, I'll be watching it with it like a hawk and see what they do. Don't you worry. James Lodge Jr. is gonna be watching. But I just think I'm like, yes, they're saying stuff. Last my coffee. Last my coffee. That was good. So yeah, I'm working. I gotta send a slow text real quick. I just had to send up. Okay. I know, Crystal. Devin Knight. Hi, Devin. Good to see you. I like when you come in. Um, just makes you like I just love it. Devin comes in. I great, love it. Well, Crystal, here's what's funny. So I do all these audio dramas, and they're very multiracial. I mean, it's by. I mean, it's the characters are multiracial. The race is in there. I have one series on my really short story podcast series. It's called Dinner with Mama. It's four separate episodes. It's an all black cast. I remember when I first promoted the first episode, I had two people, really James, all black. I was like, why is that a problem? Because I put out a series called Isn't Izzy that's all Latino. Meanwhile, the rest of my series, I have a series that's half gay, gay actors. Gay, I mean, I'm very diverse. I have Asian, I have transgender, I have everybody, older, younger. I have everybody, and but I have a couple of series. Well, this one was surrounded by a black family. There was nothing outrageous about it. I was sitting around a black family, and the mother dies, and there's all these secrets. And I love that series. And I did. You can listen to it. It's on my Really Short Story podcast. It's like 4 separate episodes. And but someone was like, as first I kind of heard that, I was like, really, James, all black. You got to do an all black cast. And how's that okay, or something like that? I'm like, what do you mean? How's that okay? I'm like, the story survives around to black. I mean, I didn't respond because it was just like that just made no sense to me. And I think one of the responses from a black person was, a white person. Why do you have a problem with it? There's words for that, but I'm not going to say that on here. What I feel about that, but it was just very interesting, and it took me off guard because I was like, oh, someone's upset to have an all black series. Okay, so yeah, Crystal, that happens also. Um, But I'm an equal opportunity. I do all kind of stuff. I do all kind of shows, but I mix. I put leads. My leads are very diverse. I place people in lead positions that don't get a chance to be in lead positions. One of my shows, I had a Chinese female lieutenant, and people were like, "Wow!" People noticed it. They were like, "That's so wonderful." I go, "Yeah." I said, "Well, she's from San Francisco. There are a lot of Chinese in San Francisco. Why not? It's a natural thing. I think would happen." I love it. Miss Veronica I love Miss Veronica, who's not a show, she's not anymore, but she's great. And it was just like she was great. She fit the part. She was great. It worked for me, and I had a problem with it. I have black female superhero and Airwoman. I have a child superhero and Jet Boy. I mean, I do a variety. I do a variety. I write a variety of stories. So why not? And I want to make it normal. If everybody did that and just made it normal, then it wouldn't be an issue. Just make it, normalize it. That's all we gotta do. So you have a story, you write it, you cast however you want to cast it. But if you have specific stories for certain cultures or races, then why not put them out there? A lot of times it may just be the dressing as the race, but the stories are universal, where anybody can understand it. And it's like, I just, yeah, don't get me started on that. It's just, Crystal, you got me on a soapbox. Because that's something I have a problem with. I guess it doesn't matter. Everything else is white most of the time. We're trying to get we're trying to get our place at the table. I want more all black stories. I want more all Asian stories. I want more all Latino stories. I want a diversity in that too. Right, Crystal, exactly. Yeah, I know what you're saying is a rhetorical question, right? It's just a rhetorical question. Yeah, it's just like why that's not. I wish they would have announced that they're bringing new time, so let's use buys, but same as like so it's like we're replacing a Target. Well, Tony, that's an interesting take. That's an interesting take, Tony. I think it's an interesting take. That's the first time I've heard that take. That's an interesting take. I disagree with you, but it's a very interesting take. Interesting take on that. I think you have to. I mean, there's no way. So you got me stuttering, Tony JC. You got me stuttering because I'm trying to think of how to say this. I think. I mean, it's a black soap. It is a black soap opera. I mean, it's a new daytime soap opera. It's a black soap opera. The cast. I mean, it's yeah. You kind of have to say it at the same time. I mean, it's. I mean, I think I get on some level kind of what you mean. Like, it's a new daytime drama star, and then later go it's starring, and you see all these black folks. It's going to be an issue. I think it's why I'm stuttering. It's going to be an issue either way. Whether you said it in the beginning, whether you just say it's a new daytime soap in the beginning, or say it later. I think it's going to be it's going to still ruffle feathers somehow. I mean, I think what I'm trying to get to is no way to avoid it anyway. There's no way to avoid it. I guess there's no way to avoid it because they just say it's a new soap opera coming called The Gates. Okay, well, what is it about? They told us what it was about. I mean, you say it's a black gated community. I mean, like it's. I don't think there's any way to disguise it. Same with the new gay projects where you can't. You say it's a new show, but I mean, if it's gay cast and it's gonna be. I mean, I guess you kind of got to say it's a new gay show. But I mean, it's a shame but in the larger picture, I will say this: it is a shame we can't just say it's a new show without having to say black, white, gay, straight, whatever. We're not there yet. We're just not there yet. I wish you were. I wish you were. But I don't think we're there yet. So see, you guys got me give me flummoxed. Like, how do I say this? It is. It's a double edged sword. That's what I'm saying, Devin. Um, I see what he's kind of saying. I see what he's saying, but then it's like you can't avoid it in the end. I mean, it's gonna be so whether the heat gets on it now or 4 months from now when they announce the actors are gonna be on. I guess it wasn't. I guess you're right. It's like, yeah, I kind of get what Tony's saying too. I kind of get it, but I don't fully agree, but I kind of get it. I'm sorry, I'm blackity black, black, black. So I'm like, I will fully admit that on the show. I'm rooting for black folks. I'm all about black folks. I like mother folks too. I support anybody, indie artists. I support any color indie artists. I do it on my shows. My receipts are out there. I don't care who you are. I will support you if you're good, hardworking, and all that stuff. I will support you. But however, comma, when it comes to black stuff, I'm a militant black person. So I'm not going to apologize for that. So I'm like, let it out, let it all out. Tell them what's going on. But I support anything new. Anything new, I'm like, yes, get new, new, new. Let's get some new in there. Let's get some new in there. So that's just kind of how I am. But I know that not everybody's like that. I do know that. That's true too. With social media, when it was yeah, social media is just so yeah. I love Speechless. Speechless was great. That was a great show. Um, but see, Speechless is was a show with a disabled person in it. I think it's very different. I wouldn't call it a disabled show. Now, if it was a whole cast of disabled people, I think there's something different there. Um, so Tony's gonna buy it. Okay, very good. I know. As I said, I wonder if people are gonna buy it. I think it's gonna be a hit. I don't know how big, but it's gonna be a hit. I think this is a good gamble. I think it's gonna work for her. I think it's. I think this is gonna work for her. I think it is. Well, Matt, we can get to the weeds on this, but the problem was the new netlets used diverse programming to build an audience of black folks. Then once they got that audience, they got the advertising, they dropped them. That's been well documented. There's a lot of documentaries. I just watched some stuff on it. That's what happened. They built Fox, UPN, WB, all built the backs of their studios on black folks and black viewership. They found out that blacks will tune in. The other studios started to add black programming because they thought, okay, I'll get a piece of the action. It wasn't because they were altruistic; they were getting a piece of the action. Then, when they got to a certain point, they got to all the households and everything. Then WP and UPN turned to CW and went white, and Fox also went white. Just the saying. And it's that's so you were right. There was much more diverse programming. Not saying it was all good, but it was much more diverse programming back then. And then it just stopped. There's diverse programming now. It's just now it's streaming. I don't know if it's all on network, but it's spread out. There's literally a show for everybody, just about. Just about. There's some stuff that we don't have yet. But for the most part, there are shows and programming for people of all walks of life, just about. you know. So that's like that's that. So it's great. But Crystal, I love the show Speechless. I thought it was a great show. I watched every season. Minnie Driver was amazing. It was a great cast. It was really good. But they said I wouldn't call it a disabled show because just because it had a disabled character on it. It was like Facts of Life had a disabled character come on. It's like that show with my guy on the gay guy who has CP. He's the only one with CP. Everybody else is just it's they're able bodied. So I wouldn't call them disabled shows, I guess. But I think people would call it if there was more than one. I think folks would call it a disabled show. I think. I don't know, girl. I don't know. But for me, I don't buy Beyonce albums. So for me, I'll listen to it. I'll listen to it. I'll see how I feel. I haven't bought Beyonce albums since birthday, since B Day. So I mean, other than that, I buy songs that I like and a lot of her remixes. But I bought her first two albums, and that was it. That's just me. I don't buy always full albums. For me, I just want good programming. I just hope the soap is good. I mean, whether it's black, white, yellow, green, yellow, I just hope it's a good show. That's all I care about. I want some good storylines. I want good actors. I want a show that will hook me and I will get into it. Because taking on a new soap takes a lot of work. Taking on a new soap takes on a lot of work. You have to get committed, learn all the characters. It's 5 days a week. This having a new soap opera is not an easy thing. So that's the point. I think it's yeah. It's we can go. I mean, we can go. I mean, this is not even Black History Month anymore. We're talking about Black History stuff. I don't want to turn that into that, but it's just we have the business. The color is green. I always say that in Hollywood and stuff. And I say Hollywood with quotes because Hollywood could be New York, whatever. The color they want is green. If they think, I'm saying if they think it will make money, they will finance it and put it out, no matter what it is. If they think they'll get a return on their investment, that's what Cord Jefferson was talking about when he won the Oscar for American Fiction. He was like, I know we're a risk adverse business, but let's get to some other people, the ones who have $10,000 budgets or $5. Like we should be looking. There's so many great content out there that we need to start looking out there and seeing what's out there. Flo and I disagree. There's a show called Grand Crew. It was on NBC. Black folks who lived in Silver Lake. I love the show. They always drink wine all the time. I loved it. He said he couldn't relate to it. That's fine. But I like that I like that there was a dive that some of us did relate to it. That there was not just one type of show on television. That we had that. There was a show called American Auto. It had two black guys in the cast, each very different from the other. One was gay, one was straight. I love that show. The dialogue was so fast and witty. Only lasted a couple seasons. They got canceled. There's like I like seeing the diversity. Like, give me different kinds of black folks. I'll take it. Different kinds of Asian, different kinds of Latino, different kinds of white folks. I want to see diversity of just characters. That's what I want to see. I just want to see characters that get me engaged. And it was just like the comedy show. Flo was like, I grew up in Brooklyn. I didn't know anybody like that. Well, that's just you. I grew up in LA. I knew guys like that. We had Ladera Heights and Westchester, and my friends' parents were doctors and lawyers. And they were black or light skinned black. I grew up with that. I wasn't rich, but I grew up with that. So I did see that. I did see those folks out there. So I know you didn't, so you couldn't relate, but I did, so I could relate. As I've said, it's just a diversity. We just need to just put out everything, just everything to give us different portrayals all the time. I know some folks didn't like Grand Crew. I know some folks I loved it. So I mean, I'm saying that's the whole point. And we have options. I love the show called Happy Endings. I thought the best K character on television was the man was Max was ever created. He wasn't cookie cutter, and so I love that show. I'm still sad that after 3 seasons it got canceled. Um, I like Living Single over Friends. Sorry, Friends had some funny stuff on it. Of course, it was good. I like Living Single. I love that show. So that's just, I mean, just that's I didn't like. I'm not a Martin fan. Sorry, folks. Take my black card. Not a, I didn't like Martin. Never did. Never will. Not a fan. But there are folks who loved it. I mean, that's so again. As long as I have diversity in characters, I don't have to watch that. I can watch this over here. I loved Insecure. Insecure was Inglewood. It was my part of Los Angeles. It was my neighbor. I see them film here. There are places that I go to. It was a very specific area of my town that we didn't see very often. There are folks, gay black folks, who love Noah's Ark. I didn't love it, but we had never seen four black guys on a regular series. So I watched it to support it. Not my favorite, but I watched to support it. But that's like, I mean, but we had nothing else. But there was nothing else that we can compare it to. I mean, like I say, give us diverse portrayals. And Daisy Flower comes in, and I love Living Single. That's why Daisy Flower. But you know what I mean? It's like just give us diverse portrayals that I can pick and choose. Then each audience gets their piece of the pie. And you can at least say, okay, and that's the problem. We don't have diversity yet, full diversity. So I know everyone's just kind of like starving for stuff. I totally get it. I'm gonna get some orange juice. I'm gonna get some orange juice. Hello, 28 people. I'm sorry, I know it's gonna be Black History Month today. I had no idea, but thank you everybody for watching the show. Thank you everybody. I love Monica and Chandler too, Daisy. Don't get me started. But see, I also love Courtney Cox, and I love me some Cougar Town. Don't get me started. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. He goes like, where did James go? Oi. Woo. All righty. There we go. Just right. It's a nice day outside, actually. I gotta wash my hands. Gross hands. Okay. Okay, I'm back. Well, anyway, my whole point is everybody like what you like, what you want. I just think we need more. We need to continue having diversity where people feel represented. We need choices. Um, we need choices. We talk about this in our Zooms and here on here all the time that we still don't get the diverse projects that we would like to have. There's still a ways to go, and so I get people's frustrations sometimes when they're like, "I just want to see this represented on TV." There are people like Crystal. I talk all the time. Who's in it? Crystal and I talk about this. There's certain times she doesn't see herself represented, and that's always you want to see yourself represented on TV on some level or some part of you or some aspect for you that's represented. I mean, of course, a lot of us who are othered, and many of you guys are in this room, um, we have to find ways to relate to a character regardless of what they look like or what their situation is. We have to kind of go out of our way. It's just part of our life, but we have to do that because a lot of times we won't see ourselves represented on screen in ways that we would love. Um, so we kind of have to do it ourselves, and find and for good or bad or better or worse, we'll find people that we relate to on a show. If we come even if they come from a different background, and some shows do very well where they show diversity of subject where it's they may be this race but everyone can relate to it. There are a few of those. So and also depending on age, makeup, where you're from, I know that some shows really do speak to some people and have helped them in their lives. See, beautiful asset. You guys are bringing up some really, and it's funny. It's coming from Black folks in the chat. That's a very interesting statement. Also, I'm like, you guys are actually stumping me because I again, I kind of see what you're saying. Yes, in a great world, a utopian world, it shouldn't matter. You're absolutely right. In a utopian world, it should be it shouldn't. But however, I guess again I'm going back. I've already said you follow me, you know me. I'm very black. I'm just like very much that. I do think sometimes you have to well, I know, but I'm saying this when you bring up a good point. I'm saying that sometimes I think you have to, yes, you have to critique it to death and for certain representation, yes. I think in some shows, yes. I think sometimes you have to. And in some cases, you don't. I think in some cases, if it's a well written story, I mean, it all depends on the story. It all depends on the context. Um, I think in some situations, if it's just, I guess actually it's a great example. So there's the movie Bros. That was the big mainstream gay film, or whatever. For a lot of people who are othered in the gay community, were like another white on white male couple. Like we've seen that love story 1,000 times. So yes, we critiqued. A lot of us critiqued that. They had a movie called Fire Island that came out before that. It wasn't the greatest movie on earth, but the leads were all diverse. was led by Asian actually, but they had white, they had black, they had Latino. Like wasn't the greatest. It wasn't the greatest movie, but at least we got to see representation actually in that movie. So and I saw both, and both were whatever. But I think in some cases when you tout yourself as something, I think yes, you do need to. There is a right to critique it. When Queer as Folk came out, same thing. It was like it's in Pittsburgh, where there's a large black population in Pittsburgh. I live in Pittsburgh, and you have hardly any black folks in the cast. There's none of them are leads. They're not in the cast. Like I've been to Liberty Avenue there. It's like then yes, I'm going to critique you to death and ask for representation. But there are folks who loved it, and then for them, from where they lived, it was a slice of gay life they'd never seen before, and it helps them either come out or become who they are. So you can't dismiss the show completely because for some people it did help them. But for others who are othered and want to comment on it for that, you can't dismiss that either. I think it's both. I think it's kind of it's back to the Tony thing about not saying it's a black soap opera, just saying it's a soap. It's like it's one of those kind of things. Like it's in some cases you have to. Yeah, I mean, Friends got critiqued because they're in New York and there are no black people hardly on the show. It's like I mean, but I was like, it's a group of friends, and some friends are homogenized. I was kind of offended Friends a little bit because I'm like, you know, and later they had Aisha Tyler come on and she dated a couple of other stuff, but like, you know, a lot of friends stick with friends. So I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm like, it's one of those things. It's like, in some cases, yes, some cases, no. I think it depends on the context of the show. I guess is my best way of putting it into ashes. That'd be my answer. Um, I might step on toes, but I don't like people look like me. Very tear down works with black artists, but won't do it for other groups. But then there's also that. You guys bring up some good questions today, good thoughts today. There's that also. There's some black folks who will openly, heavily critique other black artists. Now, I'm a person, I try not to do that very much because I just think that there's enough tearing down of our work. Like I said, I told Martin, not a fan, not my thing, but I understand there were a lot of folks who liked it, related to it, and it was a huge hit show. So he does get props for that. And I will give it to him. Not a huge Tyler Perry fan, but I understand his audience. I understand Tyler Perry's audience. And Tyler has also employed a lot of black folks and built studios. He's doing it himself. So I give him points for that. Oprah, now Oprah folks will come get me. Again, Oprah came from nothing. And it was great. And it was like, and it was wonderful. But she has things I don't care about her either. So it's like it's I agree with you. I don't want there's some folks I think who just there's elitism, snobism within our community, jealousy within our community also that happens. There'd be women tearing down women, gays. So I guess like we don't have a community that just works together. So I can't agree with that. I like Dallas. I love Lucy, Barney Miller. Basically, no blacks, no black women. I'm not a cop. I've never been rich. Never been rich in Cuba. I like all of them. Well, there's a thing. Well, I actually said it earlier. If a show is well done and you just like what you like, I mean that's fine. I would never tear down. Well, I Love Lucy was an interracial show. I mean, he was Cuban. I wouldn't say we're the blacks on that one. I said there's certain shows, yes. There are certain shows that I would not critique. I think there's certain like Golden Girls. There's certain shows I think everybody's okay with of any race. There's some shows that I think there's some shows that transcend that, and you haven't heard any critiques about them, and it's fine because they was the product of the times. Dallas was actually a very male heavy show. They did not treat women the best on Dallas. It was very much JR, the men. They were the men. Knots Landing was very female strong, but not male, not on Dallas. Dallas is my favorite shows of all time, so I love Dallas. They had Dorme. I've never heard anybody criticize the show. The three shows you mentioned, I never heard anybody criticize those anyway for that. But I think what we're talking about sometimes is, well, mostly soaps. It's mostly long running dramas that don't have certain characters on them. I think those are the ones who get critiqued a lot. Or if there's a show for this, I think a lot of critiques actually happen in treatment of shows, like which ones get opportunity. I think that's more the time we start seeing the critiques, right? And I think that's what that is. And I think if you're somebody who doesn't fit into any of those categories, because nowadays we have a lot of mixed race people, multicultural people, multilingual, different, like I said, different disabilities who are not being seen at all on shows. Yes, they have a right to say something. I think they have a right to say something. I see black women all the time. Black women, 800 billion, not so much. Exactly. You have a right. I think you have a right to say, I want to see that on a show. Make sure. I'm sure you want it on a show that makes sense, that it falls in line. Like you don't just want it thrown in there. You want something that makes sense and all kind of stuff. So it's fair to critique. There are some who fall into conspiracy theory who see crap that any black person has made it and sold out to the boogeyman. Oh my God, you guys are trying me this morning. No, I love, no, I love, no, I love this dialogue. I love this dialogue. So you guys are giving me, everything. You guys are giving me everything today. I love this kind of dialogue. I love it. This stuff makes me I'm going to say something really crude, but I'm not going to, but it makes me excited. Let me just say, it makes me tingle down there. Right? I love this kind of I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. And this is a safe space. You can say whatever you want here. It's a safe space. So Devin Knight, I would say to you is, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm very clear. I'm a very level-headed person. I'm a very level-headed person who actually knows a lot, a lot about the business. I'm in it, and know stuff. I don't know everything. I know stuff, and also, and Jason, I don't know how old you are, but I've been around 54 years and have worked in various industries. And a lot of people, black folks, when they make it, do sell out to the white man. We can just say it, white man. Like why are we tiptoeing around it? It's not conspiracy theory. A lot of them do. My father did. He openly did it. He used his color. He used his light skinness to get ahead. And he told me why. He told me exactly why. Because in the 70s and 80s, he had to do that. And I used to critique him about it. Now I kind of understand why he did it on some level. I kind of get it. I didn't get certain positions or things because I was this color and was told that. Well, you're younger than I am, but you're not. I mean, we're still same time period. So we're same time. I'll be 55. So we're same time period. Well, how would you sell out? You get to a certain level and you think, wow, I've made it out. And the white man is the white man who's in charge. No black people in charge. The white man in charge who tells you, I'll give you this, 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 and this, and you play this game. And you do because you want money. You came from somewhere you came from. You want money, you want position, you want power. I think it does happen a lot. Not every single one. No, not every single successful black person. Not everybody. There are many black people who are successful who give back. Like I said again, Tyler Perry's one. Byron Allen's another one. There are some. There are some. You know, and there are some. But I know a lot. I know people personally in my life and professional life who literally have sold out. Yeah, and happily have done so. You see it. You just go online. You see it all the time. You see black folks who are singing the praises of white folks and doing their dirty work. I mean, it happens. You know. Hey, what's going on? I don't know if I'm still alive. Am I still alive? Oh my God.